Do I want to know what you're doing?
Ooh. I'm the pale man from Pan's Labyrinth. You see? See?
No.
See my
It's
hands?
like you're playing peekaboo with the camera.
Like my hands are like in my eyeballs. See?
No.
Except I don't have eyes in my hands.
You don't have
that
eyes.
would be rad though.
That would
be so rad.
I'd
like freak people out all the time.
Itchy
And be like,
your eye hands would be. Like
ew.
think about it logistically though. Like you touch things and it's like ah. Like you ever poke your eye accidentally?
Maybe.
Like you're scratching your
but
face.
But maybe they could only open when there was like something.
Intro.
I don't know.
Or clear hands. No. You don't think so?
I guess if you needed them, you could use them.
What if you didn't want to use them?
I feel like they would have to function.
Like pop them out.
Ooh, blah, blah, blah.
You'd be like Real Monsters, the one with the.
Oh yeah, who holds his eyes in his hands?
Guys. Wait,
it's
Crump. Crump. Thank you. Yes.
Crump.
Who's Crump?
It's not Crump.
Who's Crump? No,
it's Crump.
It was Crump. You're right. Who's Crump?
Crump.
Crouch. Oh, that was Harry Potter. Whatever. Hi. Welcome to Game Overcast, where we're talking about
weird stuff.
Eyes and
like always.
Monsters.
Monsters are my favorite.
Anyways,
okay.
We're just gonna get right into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Matt.
I'm Brittany. Today
she's Brittany. Tomorrow she might be Steve. Whatever.
Or the pale man.
She's like walking down the street. Ah!
Or the pale chib.
The pale chib is more like it.
But I don't have
your Twitter handle. Pale chib.
I'm so sorry.
Yes. No.
Really awful.
Sunlight deprived little cartoon person.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm just moving on.
Moving right
We're
along,
just
okay.
moving on.
Let's talk about what we're playing right now, because we're going. Speaking of pale people, let's talk about what we're playing right now.
I really wanted to know where you were going with that, because I thought you were gonna. Speaking of pale chibs.
Well, no, he's not. Would you like to go first?
Yeah. Wait. What?
I'll go first.
What are we talking about?
Ask me what I'm playing.
Okay. What are you playing?
Right
yes.
Yes. Well, first off, I have already beaten God of War. And no, it's not the longest game in the world, but I mean, the original God of War is more long either. But
yeah.
I also did several all-nighters on this game where instead of sleeping, I just played God of War.
It's actually fairly long.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you were playing it all day and all night for like 3 days.
You'd call me, I'd be like, what do you want? What are you doing? What do you think I'm doing?
So, yeah.
Playing God of War, go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. But fantastic game. It's weird too because I'm gonna admit something. I've never beaten a God of War game before.
Yeah.
Because I always get kind of tired of them. I've always thought Kratos was kind of dumb. Like he's just angry. He's just like a Red Lantern. He's just really pissed off and he's really stupid. Like Kratos is really dumb. Like think about I don't know how much of the story you know though, where he was this like super cool warrior, bloodlust. I do things for Ares, rawr, and I'm gonna murder my family, and I'm gonna do this other horrible stuff. And no,
on accident.
Well, he was like in a rage. So the story, if I'm not mistaken, Kratos was this really cool like Spartan general, and he was going to lose to barbarians, so he sold his soul to Ares to be like to have power. And then he went nuts killing things, and then he ended up killing his family while he was in that rage. And then, as punishment, his ashes were permanently, or their ashes were affixed to his skin forever. That's why Kratos is just so white.
But how is that punishment? I mean, like, why would he be...
As a reminder that he murdered his family. They're always there. Your dead family is attached to you.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a really bad deal.
Well, that's kind of the point.
But I feel like that was real, like, he shouldn't... I mean, he's the one that gave him the ability to do that, so I feel like... Ares, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was very
so
good at just
Ares shouldn't have been like
deal with the devil.
Yeah, I know, but he shouldn't have been like, "Oh, now you get punished for that."
It wasn't
Well,
Ares.
you gave him the ability, bro.
Yeah, I think in the cutscene it was some kind of old lady at the temple.
Oh,
like,
okay, sure.
Someone's, but it wasn't Ares. I don't think it mattered. Ares just likes to make him suffer. But anyways, and then he proceeds to do dumb thing after dumb thing.
Like what?
where he kills Ares, he becomes a god, then Zeus screws him over out of becoming a god and kills him. And then he doesn't want to stay dead, so he murders everybody in Hades and like climbs his way out of hell. And he's just a very angry man. And I really like in the new one where he's kind of realized that he was really dumb and really angry and just murdered kind of like the whole of Greece. So like spoilers for God of War 3 if you haven't played it yet, everybody dies. Like Athena's dead, but kind of like a ghost at the end of 3. But everybody else is dead. Mm-hmm. Like Greece as a whole is like tornadoes and floods and just everybody's dead. So because Kratos is angry, he murdered. One thing, he killed Kevin Sorbo, which pisses me off a lot.
Not Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, he kills Hercules. He beats the crap out of Hercules. That's Kevin Sorbo, and it's not good. So he just murders everyone. So in God of War, just God of War, God of 4, whatever you want to call it.
Dad of War.
Dad of War, yes. Beard of War. Kratos is kind of an older, like really sad man. Like he's just like, he's still angry, but he's kind of like internally angry at himself now. Mm-hmm. And he just, the whole game, without spoiling, because the game is quite new, so we won't talk too much about it as far as the story goes. He doesn't want his son to become him, but he's not really good at showing emotion. Like a lot of you out there a lot of times people have parents, usually the dad, who isn't that good at, being loving. Is more of like, do this and we're gonna go fishing and cook some meat, and you know what I'm talking about? Like my dad has always been a fantastic dad, but he's never been one to like give you a hug. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he shows affection, but in his own kind of like dad way. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
sure.
A lot of dads are like that. Well, never mind. But it's just kind of the way it is. And it's not always just dads. It's just certain family members or people don't show affection affectionately. So that's Kratos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where like he really wants to be a good dad, but he doesn't really get it. He's kind of angry, and just imagine poor Kratos going to like a workshop and like, hi, I'm Kratos. Hi, Kratos. What did you do? I murdered the pantheon of gods and all of their followers, and now I'm a lumberjack.
Oh God.
And then he just kind of claps slowly and backs away. But phenomenal game, great combat.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. So I'm playing it now, and I've gotten to the part where you meet the witch in the woods, whom I really like. I'm not going to say who it is. You just meet a witch in the woods.
Under a turtle.
And that's the best thing ever. Like, can I live under a turtle, please? It's really awesome.
It's like the turtle from Neverending Story, just without like the sassy. It's like laughing at you. And it's weird because your son's name is Atreus, and I always want to call him Atreus because Atreus reminds me way too much of Atreyu. And just like a luck dragon's going to fly out of somewhere and it's going to be great. That would be awesome. God of Never-Ending Story. We'll get back to that. But
yeah, it's really good. The graphics are really pretty.
So pretty.
And again, I've seen my brothers were really into God of War, so I never like personally played it, but I know the gameplay, and I remember like bits and pieces, like fragments of it, because I would watch them play it.
It all kind of blends together. I mean, it's a really good hack and slash. I don't know why I never got into it so much. Maybe because I really liked the Greek gods. I didn't like killing all of them. I was like, no, Poseidon, eyes.
But I think this is an excellent God of War to jump in on if you haven't played God of War, because it's basically like starting over.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Now we have a whole new pantheon to just wipe the floor with. But it's a phenomenal game. Great story.
It's really good.
Leaves you just desperately hungering for more, which you'll understand.
The puzzles are really fun too.
Yeah, they're really good.
And really good.
None of them are super, super hard, but they do kind of make you think a bit.
Yeah.
It incorporates your awesome.
Does a good job.
You have this thing called the Leviathan axe, which is more or less Thor's hammer, but an axe, and it's cold. So you can chuck it and it comes back to you and do all these other kind of cool things. Great game though. Totally worth it. You should get it. Music is great. And it makes you
Ooh, yeah. The soundtrack is really good.
But also, I have been playing. What else have I been playing? I finally picked up an Oculus Rift a couple of weeks ago, and I've been playing that. And first off, I'm very sore because I'm lazy, and a lot of the games I've been playing require you to do a lot of motion. Like there's a game I've been playing a lot of called Sprint Vector, which is still reasonably new, and it plays like remember Wipeout?
Is that the one that I played?
Yeah, it's the one I made you try. Or it's a racing
like you're skiing.
game, but you actually have to, I'm trying to do without hitting the mic, or you actually have to like run. So if you're listening to this, you have to like pump your arms like you're running.
You have to run with your arms.
And the faster you go, the faster your guy runs. So you actually have to, for the whole match, just run super fast. So do like 5 or 6 races, and you're going to be really tired. You know how you do a lot of physical activity and you feel okay that day, but the next morning you think you're going to die? That's kind of been me, where I'll wake up and be like, oh, it's like my upper body hates me.
So you sound like a zombie?
Yeah, exactly. Wake up, kind of the way it feels, because I'll like sit up out of bed and then I'll go to like push off, and my arms just go and like spasm and not work. So I have to kind of like throw myself out of bed with my head and like roll down.
Excuse me.
It's really bad.
I burped. Sorry.
Good for you. But it's a phenomenal game. I keep playing it, and there's other really cool games.
I don't know what it is. Like when I play the PlayStation VR, I'm absolutely fine. And when I play, and I'm not afraid of heights. One of the things that I really want to do, like someday, is get a private pilot's license, because I just think it's amazing. Like flying is so fun.
Just throw you out of a plane or something.
And fly the plane, not jump out of the plane. But that's, I mean, it's just really cool. I'm not afraid of heights whatsoever, but the Oculus Rift drives me crazy.
You're standing up also. When we play the
this
VR,
crazy,
you sit down.
yeah.
So it's weird not being able to see where. Like today, I almost fell over because I was playing a climbing game, and I freaked out because I was a little bit outside of the area where I'm supposed to be, and I didn't. I haven't told you this yet. So I went to go reach back behind me to grab a wall, and then I actually hit the wall, and that just threw off my equilibrium. So I was like, and I almost fell over, and it was horrible.
Oh man, I wish I could have seen that.
It really doesn't take much to mess you up, especially when you're playing games where you're climbing and you move around.
And when you're like, it's so fast paced, like that one running game that you were talking about, the Sprint Vector, when I was trying it, you're in a stadium and it's really high up and like everyone's below you. Yeah. So when I hit the wall, I was like, I'm gonna die.
I need to make you, because there's like a climbing course that goes over the top of that, where you have to like climb and then like hop from thing to thing. Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. And then you fall and it's like, so I think I'm gonna make you do that at some point next time you come over. But so that's what I've been doing. A lot of God of Oculus. What about you?
Same thing. God of War. Really good. Witch in the Woods. Super fun. Really like her.
Great song.
Like her turtle. Great song. And then I've actually been really feeling something Mario-esque.
Yeah.
So I decided, like, hey, let me play Super Mario 3D Land. Because it's one that I actually didn't really play a lot of.
No.
And I was in the mood for Mario, but I was in the mood for something different.
So what's the verdict? Because you haven't played this before, have you?
I've played Super Mario 3D World, and I loved 3D World. It's real. I can't figure out why I don't like this one. It just
kind of sucks, doesn't it?
I don't like it. Not as much. Like, it's okay.
I love how you agree with me for a change.
And you know, I love Nintendo. I grew up with Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I love Mario. But I can't get into this one.
It has no soul.
It's different.
A lot of
I don't know
Mario
why.
games just have no soul.
But see, what's the difference between Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World? Came out at around the same time. So I don't understand.
World came out about a year or so later.
I don't understand why I really like World, but I can't get into Land.
World's a better version of Land. I don't like World that much. Like, World's fun, but
we had so much fun when we played that.
True, but as a single player game, it ain't so good.
And it didn't feel like, I know that it's different because it's like in a 3D environment, but World didn't feel different to me from any other Mario. I don't know if it's because it's the screen size or what's going on, but like, I just do not jive with this one.
It's a lot less 3D also. Like Mario World, I didn't like because you are kind of locked to one perspective because of having, and we've talked about this before, because you have to have, you know, the camera has to work for up to 4 people, so you can't do what you can do in Sunshine or 64 or the true 3D Mario, you know, Galaxy or Odyssey. You're stuck to like this angle or like 45 degrees in either direction or something, and that's kind of all you get. And that kind of bugged me, where it's much better in World, but in Land you kind of have the same problem, but it's just you. You have this sort of like, you know, sort of isometric, sort of like 45 degree angle down looking at you kind of thing. It just feels kind of blah. Like it's not actually bad, it just feels kind of wrong.
It's weird. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I can't quite place it, but it's definitely not that itch that I had. It's not fixing it.
It ain't scratching the itch.
Yeah. So I'm just going to wait for Donkey Kong because it's really soon. That's next week.
Great. You're actually paying $60 for a game that was $50 when it was new?
I want it.
Like, don't get me wrong. Once again, I will say every time I love my Switch, but there are some cases.
I have felt like playing Donkey Kong for like 3 months now, and I keep telling myself, no, it's coming out for the Switch.
A port with no new content that's $10 more than when it came out like 3 years ago. Why?
I don't know, but I want to play it.
I don't care. I want to play it too, but I'm not going to. I'll wait till it's on sale.
Maybe. I just really feel like playing it.
Let's segue while we're talking about the Switch.
Oh, Lord.
Here we go. So, I think everyone in the universe knows about this by now, so I don't feel bad talking about it.
Well, I know what you're going to talk about, and Kotaku posted an article.
Everyone is. Like, it's not a big secret.
If Kotaku did it, everyone knows.
Yes, like I wouldn't talk about it if there was hope that everyone in the universe didn't know about it already. And if you don't know about it already, surprise. Game Overcast exclusive. It's not. So the Switch has been hacked.
Oh, no.
Officially. Now, there is a hardware
That's like every system
exploit.
ever, though.
Yeah, but it's...
People hacked the PSP, they hacked the Vita.
Those were all software hacks. That's the difference. The hacks for like the PSP is you had to download something. It had to be on a specific firmware, a specific system, or blah, 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 blah. The Switch... The exploit in the Switch is actually something wrong with the NVIDIA Tegra chip, the thing that runs the system. So every Switch in existence today is going to be hackable forever.
Oh, wow.
Until Nintendo revises the hardware, they cannot stop you from doing something to the Switch you have now, or the millions of Switches that are out there right now. That's a really big deal.
So I imagine they're probably either A, going to do a recall on the remaining Switches, or just sell them, and then the next batch of them is going to be the ones.
They'll do some kind of tiny revision on the chip or whatever. It's interesting because right now people are like, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to make like a new version of the Switch with a better chip? Because it's kind of their own fault for being cheap, because the version of the chip they used is like 3 years old. It came out in 2015. So it's not new hardware. Everyone was like, is it going to be the X1 or the X2? It was the X1. It was the older, less powerful, less expensive chip. And if it was the newer one, it would have not have necessarily solved the problem, but this exploit very well have not been on there. And people have been working on this for years. So that's why we're like, wow, the Switch has only been out a year. It's already been hacked. Well, it's because they didn't use a custom chip. It's a chip that's been in existence for years. People have already been fiddling with it because it's the same chip that's in the Shield, the NVIDIA Shield. It's the exact same thing. So first off, I guarantee you somebody's fired.
Aw, that's sad.
like some poor Japanese man has gotten the boot really hard, because that's I can only imagine what Nintendo, and this is mind you, don't make YouTube videos of our stuff without paying us, Nintendo, where they really are like hardcore against this kind of stuff, which is of course fine. But
come on now, let's be real. First of all, it was an accident, and that happens. Nobody's perfect.
Yep.
I would have never thought about that. And then also, how many people are likely going to actually try to exploit the system? Like, I definitely know.
I will justify what I intend to do with it, which is my next topic on this thing.
Well, I was going to say, like, I definitely would not, and I don't know how. That's another thing. But it's not because I don't know how that I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. So I feel like...
I think a lot of people are going to do it.
I don't think so.
I think you're the minority in this case because it's stupid easy.
I don't think
so. You poke something with a paperclip. You just go...
Oh, no.
No, you don't open the system. It's one of the parts where the Joy-Con slides in. You just put a paperclip somewhere, and it's done. It's just that easy. Anyways, though, yeah, it's really, really easy. But it doesn't matter. The point being, this brings up a great deal of serious issues. Like, you know, once you hack the system, you have full access to it. You can do all kinds of stuff to it that are both really, really cool and really, really bad. You know, my purpose for this is I really want to have Netflix on my Switch. I've talked about this like every episode for the past year.
Yeah.
I should be able to have Netflix, or at least be able to put like AVI files on my Switch or something. It's a freaking tablet. I'm going to do that now.
But
I'm going to
honestly,
put Linux on my Switch and be able to watch videos.
I don't understand why it's necessary, because you have 1,000 devices that do Netflix.
We've covered this 1,000 times and I won't any further.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I want to be able to do it. It should be there. Whether or not you will use it or anybody else will use it, I want to do it. And now I can, and I'm going to. What I am not going to do with it, though, and what I'm afraid that most people are going to use it for is piracy. We never talk about piracy on the show because it's a really, really touchy subject when you talk about emulators and bad things like that. But I'm going to touch on it because it's important.
Yeah.
First off, piracy in almost every respect is
It's
bad.
lame.
And
Don't do it.
I mean, a lot of people will come to me and they'll justify it, where it's like, well, I think piracy is okay because I'm gonna steal Far Cry 5. I said steal there. I'm gonna steal Far Cry 5, and if I like it, I'm gonna buy it. Like, no, you're a thief, and I mean, you can. That's okay. Like, I won't stop you from doing what you want to do, and that's fine. But have no doubt, there is no justification for stealing stuff. Especially now, we're in a world of YouTube and Twitch. You can watch 1 million people play that game 100% through, backwards and forwards.
And determine whether or not you're going to like it.
And if from all of that, and from like hundreds of video game websites and reviews and everything else, if you can't figure out whether you're going to like that game, don't buy the game. Don't play the game. That's okay. Now, if you just want to play the game for free, which is usually the case, I mean, let's be honest here. That's usually the case. You just don't want to pay $60 for the game. That's something else. You shouldn't do that. And there's people that say, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't support the developers. Well, then don't buy the game. Don't play the game either. Because some you may not like EA.
But why would somebody want to play the game and not support the developers?
Well, it's like saying, I want to play Battlefront 2, but I don't support their loot box stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fine if you don't like EA, but some poor guy that worked, 60 hours a week for a year isn't going to get paid or something like that because you wanted to steal his product. Like, I get that you don't like the big evil corporate boogeyman, but there's a lot of people that have jobs.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's not that black and white. This is something that is like really important to me because as an artist, I rely on people buying my stuff. So it's really,
You mean I can't just take a picture of your thing and print
don't.
it out? And if I like it, Brittany, I'll come back and buy the real one. I want to see if it fits first.
And it really does hurt. And you put a lot of time and effort into your art, whatever it may be. It could be film, it could be music, it could be mixed media art, it could be painting, whatever it is that you do, whatever artistic thing that you do. It's important, in my opinion, that you support those people.
Very much so. Otherwise, it goes away.
Otherwise, it goes away, and
Like
it's really
Toys R
important.
Us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the case of where that was not something that was where people were buying stuff. So 30,000 people no longer have a job.
Yeah.
It works in every avenue. When you have someone who does something and gets paid to do something, if you just don't pay for that and still take the product, eventually they're not going to make the product anymore.
Yeah. So if me especially, even some things that I haven't seen yet, like The Shape of Water, I knew I hadn't seen it, but I was going to go out and buy it because I knew that I was going to love it. I love Del Toro. I want to support Del Toro. I just knew.
Yeah.
So
what we're saying is there's very rarely an excuse. The only case, and I'm going to be logical here, there are some cases where there is no legal avenue to watch something or to listen to something. This happens to a lot of us really bad anime nerds, where in some cases there is no reasonable way for me to watch a show. If it's not on Crunchyroll or Funimation, I can't watch that show legally. Like, I could import the Blu-ray from Japan and not know what the hell they're saying. That's kind of my only option. So there are some cases where it's still not good. You're still being a thief, but I kind of get it.
yeah.
But there is no reason for you to I'm going to download Sea of Thieves, or I'm going to download God of War, which I don't think you can. Or in the case of the Switch, where it's like, yes, I'm going to buy a Switch now and hack it so I can play Mario Odyssey and Zelda Breath of the Wild for free. That's dumb.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're hurting so much more. You're hurting brick and mortars. You're hurting like Nintendo, employees of Nintendo. It's not just one corporation. It is a domino effect. So it's really important. And if you enjoy the things that you enjoy, support those people so they can keep doing those things. Support brick and mortars or, what that sell these games or...
Don't buy crap from Amazon. No, that's a whole different discussion there. Sorry.
Okay, I have Prime, but
but
I don't only buy stuff
That's
through
still
Amazon.
better than pirating. But we're going to move on.
Absolutely.
There's already gone
Yeah.
longer than I wanted to. But the point is, the Switch exploit is there, and it's gonna be there for the foreseeable future. So if you're going to do it, just do it. Be careful, because there's always the option that it's going to brick your Switch. But if you do want to do it, please don't do anything bad with it. Like, obviously you're going to do what you want to do, but like,
and support the arts.
yeah, like I'm gonna use it at some point. I'm gonna wait a little while till it becomes a little bit more refined, but I'm going to do it specifically for the reasons that I want, where I can put media on my thing, so I can maybe take the save files off. Can I tell you about how I freaked out because my screen protector cracked and I thought it was my screen?
Oh yeah, but it was
freaking
the
out.
screen protector, right?
Yeah, because I never play my Switch docked. So I have, a 200-hour Xenoblade. I'm gonna get it into every show. The new Blade's coming up. I have like a 200-hour Xenoblade thing on there, and a bunch of other save files that you can't transfer. They're stuck to that system. So if you break your screen, you're screwed.
Weird.
There's no way. Mind you, there's an SD slot on there. Tough Tookie, you cannot transfer saves. So hopefully at some point, I'm sure there will be now with this thing, I can take my saves off and not worry about losing all of my hard work.
So it doesn't save onto that SD
No,
card?
it's on the hardware. You cannot transfer it between systems. There was I forgot
But
what.
you could even transfer stuff from 3DS to 3DS.
Yeah.
You can't transfer anything?
No, I forgot what. I think it was IGN where
Are
there's a
you
guy.
sure?
100%. There was
That
a guy
doesn't
who
sound right.
his Switch broke and he sent it in because there was no way to transfer saves. He got it back and all of his saves were gone. And he's
Yeah,
like,
but that could just be because they didn't care.
no, there is no way to transfer it. Like, there might be a way at Nintendo to do it, but you cannot transfer your saves from one Switch to the other. There is no way to do it.
Oh, wow.
Officially, anyways. So I'm going to do that.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna back up my save files. Because, like you said, that's been a thing.
They don't have any kind of cloud service
No,
or
this is
anything?
Nintendo. What are you talking about?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Their online service has taken a year and a half to get going. It's, it might be up sometime by the end of this year, September or something. But
I just can't imagine. That's really insane.
yeah, you would think it would be obvious, but it's not there. You can't do it.
Because I feel like that's so crucial these days. I mean, Sony and Microsoft, like, that's a way to be competitive.
So
I'm just saying.
that's one of the reasons why I'm going to do this, so I can back up my save files for the games that I've paid for, and not have to worry about losing them if I at some point break my Switch, because I take my Switch everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I play it a lot, because I really like it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to risk breaking it and just losing all of my save data. Where it's like, I've been playing Mario Odyssey again finally because I was out of town for a couple weeks ago. I don't want to lose all that data. Where it's like I've got a couple hundred Power Moons now. I don't want to lose that and start from scratch. I just won't play it anymore, and I may not want to buy any more games because that's kind of annoying. So once again, you can just be good little boys and girls, or Santa's gonna blow you up. Ho ho! That got weird real fast, didn't it?
That reminds me of that trailer in Scrooged.
Yes.
In the beginning where it's like...
Acid rain. Drive-by shootings. Now more than ever, it's important to appreciate the goodness of Christmas. Scrooged.
And what was it in the beginning? They had it was like Santa and his elves.
Yes, with Lee Majors.
Yes. And they had guns and stuff. I don't know. It was really weird.
Yep.
It was funny.
Random Christmas Game Over cast. Why not? All right, so let's move right along. That took a lot longer
Murray's
than I expected it to, but that's fine. Let's talk about, we have our question of the month, and it is God of War themed. And I'm curious how you put this here in your notes. Okay. So, which pantheon should Kratos blow up next?
Yeah.
So obviously everyone knows Kratos just wrecks the faces of everybody in Greek mythology. He does a lot of damage to Norse mythology in this game without any spoilers. But
does he have to kill people? I mean, why?
Well, in this game, once again, without spoilers, Kratos just wants to be left alone, and people will not shut up. Like in the beginning of the game, the tattooed man who comes to the door, and this is the first 5 minutes of the game, so I don't feel bad about it, comes to the door, and he's like, hey, talk to me, blah, blah, blah. And Kratos tells him, you need to go. Back off, bro. And he doesn't back off, so Kratos beats the crap out of him. Yeah, he tries, you need to go. And the guy won't let him go, so he beats the hell out of him. But Kratos, that's kind of the whole game, where Kratos just wants to take his dead wife's ashes to where it wants to be spread, and that's it. And people will not leave him be.
I don't understand why they won't let him do that.
We won't talk about that.
I'll get there.
So the next game is probably going to be more Norse, which I'm okay with, because Norse is just metal as all get out, and that's awesome. But what else? Obviously, there are options now for multiple pantheons.
Oh, that would be so cool.
What do you want to see?
I'm not going to say the obvious, because I feel like you know what the obvious is. We all know what the obvious is, so I'm not going to say it.
Do we?
Egyptian.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Kratos is like riding Anubis.
I mean, that would be rad. I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but I feel like they're going to hold off on that because it's the obvious choice. And they probably didn't do it this time around because of Assassin's Creed Origins.
That's quite possible.
So,
Norse is just so cool.
Norse is cool, though.
I think it lends
Absolutely.
itself to Kratos because he's just, I mean, Norse mythology is brutal.
Yeah.
Like, people just die and giants blow up everywhere. And then at the end of the story, everyone dies
It's very
anyway.
bleak.
I mean, Ragnarok is a very bleak thing.
It's very bleak.
So it works. But go on. So what
because I kind of think like it's because like the Scandinavian culture, like it's very bleak, and they have very cold winters, and it's very harsh. You know, it was very harsh conditions.
It kind of lends itself to a very, very, very
absolutely,
harsh,
kind of a harsh world.
Gods,
yeah,
where it's like, you know, if you don't die in battle, you go to hell. Like, you can be the nicest guy in the world, but if you don't die fighting, straight to hell you go.
But Valkyries are so rad.
They are really awesome.
God, they're so cool. There's a lot of, oh my gosh, Norse is just great. And if they continue that, I would not mind, which I'm sure they will, because I know the ending. So I think that
I'm hoping you don't know as much as you think you know, because I know I
don't think I do.
And then you were like, oh, now I want to play this. I was like, crap, I should have told you half of what I told you.
That's okay.
Thankfully, your memory's garbage. You probably don't remember much of it anyway. So what'd you have for dinner last night?
I'll get through it. Anyway, so what I would love to see, though, I would love to see, like, Japanese stuff. Wouldn't that be rad?
Yes.
Because I love, like, spirits and yokai, and they just... I had this book, and it was, gosh, I cannot remember for the life of me, but it was about demons from different cultures, and there was like a few chapters on Japan, and it's just, they have such rad stories, such
really
amazing stories.
Looking monster from Mario Land 2.
And so I think they could do so much with that. That would be so cool. And then the art style would be so cool. Yeah.
Just Kratos with a giant samurai sword. He just breaks it off and throws it at somebody.
I also wouldn't mind something Celtic. I think that would be kind of cool.
Thank you
a lot
for
of
stealing
fairy.
Mine. I appreciate
Sorry.
that. Just Kratos like murdering.
You know
Pan.
that, like, I was Celtic in another life. Just saying. So you know that was. I gave you that one. You're welcome.
That would be awesome. It's interesting actually because a particular character mentions that before he like came to this place, he was an advisor to one of the Fae kings.
Ooh.
Which I thought was really cool. Yeah. You know who I'm
I know which one. Mimir?
Yep.
Mimir. Yeah. Mimir.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say who he was, but that's cool.
Potato, and I'm so sorry.
Spoilers.
That was not a spoiler. That's just a name.
Whatever. People are like be looking it up now. It's like, who is Mimir? Well, crap. Who else would I want? I mean, there's a lot of really good options. I mean, you could still do. He could attack like ancient was it Mesopotamian fighting Quetzalcoatl and stuff like that. That would be really awesome. You know, lightning serpent. Mayan. There we go. Mayan. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry. That was also a very, very brutal thing where they sacrifice people and throw them down the thing. So that would be cool. What else?
Oh wow, like these weird Babylonian gods.
Yeah.
Like sounds kind of cool.
That's a whole different thing right there. Yeah. Kratos fighting Baal. That'd be sweet.
That'd be so cool.
What else? They could do Native American, Egyptian.
Ooh, that would be really cool.
Get to work. Was it Sony Santa Monica? Get to work now.
That'd be really awesome. I would play anything.
If it was like this, I'd play it for days, yeah, because it's fantastic. And the combat's very rewarding. It's challenging. I know we're just back on God of War all of a sudden. We're like, it's so good. I love it.
I think this podcast is about God of War. We changed it.
Randomly God of War cast. It's okay. I would tell you a lot more, but the game hasn't even been out for like a week.
Yeah.
So I really don't want to spoil too much about it, but it's so
and let me tell you, he tried. He was like, I'm just gonna say it. And I'm like, no, it hasn't been out for long enough.
I was gonna do a spoiler warning.
Give them a bit.
Like let's talk about how cool the boats
I say give
are.
them at least a month.
We'll talk about it next month. Do the E3 show. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. So are we good? Anything else you can think of?
Nope.
I swear there's one that we're missing. Like,
I know.
Really
I feel like we were talking about this earlier, and we had all these cool ideas, and now we just don't.
Two things that are way not going to work, but funny. We should totally have Kratos fight Conan stuff. So have him go fight Crom. Just kick Crom and have Crom not care. You know, Crom is in his mountain and he doesn't care.
Conan stuff is Norse.
Is it?
Crom? Well,
Crumb?
No,
Conan's God is actually just this monster with the eyes in his...
As that or Victor from Harry Potter. Victor
Yes! Or what about a really
JK.
cool God of War rhythm game? God of Rhythm. Where he just with his blades of chaos. Just
No, because in Conan, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
There are
One of my
there's
favorites.
Valkyrie,
Oh, there are? Which Conan are you talking about?
the barbarian.
That's right. The first one. Yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
you want to live forever?
There's a Valkyrie.
Yeah. I guess it did. Well, it just sounds like Valkyrie.
I don't know. Valkyries are cool. Anyway.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Yes.
Don't touch that dial if you're listening to us on the radio. If you are, that's interesting.
How did we get there?
Look. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, Matt here. And has this ever happened to you? You're in your local Game Over looking for a specific game and they don't have it. Not to worry, friends. GameOverVideogames.com has got your back. Just go to our website and chances are we'll have what you need.
But Matt, I don't want to pay any shipping fees.
How did you get into my house? Not to worry, random lady. Just select the pickup and store option and we'll send it to the Game Over store of your choice within 30 days at no extra cost to you. So hop on today and check it out. GameOverVideogames.com. Making retro gaming easier with the power of the internet. And welcome back to Game Over. The lights have turned out again cast.
Hello.
At some point in the previous recording, the memory card died on our camera.
I wonder if it caught that.
What?
Because, when it stopped, did
Yeah.
it stop right as it beeped?
I'm pretty sure it stopped right when it beeped.
Okay, dang. So you won't see it. Because if it hadn't stopped, you would be able to see Matt and I both turn at the same time and go, eh?
Huh? Like, what happened? So the rest of this will be an audio-only show, so do apologize for that, but we'll try to make it brief then, I guess,
Sorry.
as that kind of blew up. But, all right. What were we going to talk about now? That threw off my equilibrium completely.
Okay, so we were talking about God of War.
right.
It was the question of the month. And now we're going to talk about other stuff.
That's right. This was the nostalgia show.
Yes.
That's right. Okay,
It
cool.
wasn't the God of War cast.
No, the God of Cast.
It
War.
almost turned
War
into
of
that.
God Cast. Cast and the God. Casting the name of God, ye not guilty. Big O! Ha ha! Robot references. No.
Moving on.
Big O, big whatever. All right. Big whatever. All right, so we thought, I'm screwed now. I'm so pissed off about the camera.
You're fine. It's fine.
We thought that we would do something different this show.
Yeah.
And talk about just some cool little gaming memories. One of the neat things, one of my favorite parts about the show is actually when folks have kind of written in and
I love
kind of
that.
shared their cool little memories with us about some of the cool things they did.
Yeah.
We had that really neat person talk about how Ocarina of Time was special. We
Yeah.
had the lady talk about Sonic way back on our first show.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we would just share some fun little stories that we just happened to
Ourselves.
just randomly kind of have in our heads that would be kind of
Yeah.
neat and just go back and forth for a little while. And and the big thing is if you have any stuff, any cookies, any stories you want to share, we want to hear from you. That's kind of the whole thing. We
Ooh,
want to spark
yes.
that.
Ooh, you know what?
What?
It would be really, really cool if send us your stories and we did a little mini episode and we read them.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be cool?
that'd be awesome.
We should do that.
So by all means, send them in. We could.
So please send stories.
Yeah, send stories. Plus, we have a podcast at GameOverVideogames.com, or just leave them as a comment on the YouTube channel if you want everyone to see it. And if you want, please let us know if you'd like. We will read them on the air. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would
I'll
be
sure
so
to keep them
cool.
somewhat family friendly.
Yes, please.
So we're trying on a couple
It's
of my
hard, we
stories
know.
here. I actually have to kind of massage out certain details, just because. But yeah. So let's just get started and just see where it goes. And I haven't written any down in particular. I just have a couple in my head.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, the ones, whenever you said that you wanted to do the show on this subject, I thought it was really, really cool. But I don't have anything super, super extravagant, just fun memories.
That's fine. That's half the coolness of it.
yeah,
I
but-
think that's one of the reasons why we're all so into games, though, is the aspect. There is the part of it where playing games alone is awesome, but then even when you're playing a single player game like God of War, if it's really good, you end up dragging people into it, where you have to go
absolutely.
and be like, hey, what did you do this? Have you played this yet? It's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I like playing games so much, is you do get drawn into the world, but then you come back out of it and you share it with your friends or with your family. And then if it's a multiplayer game, you do it together. The theme of most of my stories I like to call times that Matt stayed up way too late playing video games and either didn't go to work or school or got really sick because of it or something like that. I often tell folks, think about it. A lot of the things you remember are usually times you almost died. Like you'll remember every single time you almost got killed. Like if you almost like ran off a cliff or someone hit you in a car or like you were shot or something, like you will remember that a lot more often than remember that time I went to McDonald's. Like for some reason those kind of stick with you. So those are a lot of mine. I didn't almost die in most of these, but those are the kind of stories where it's like, oh my God, what have I been doing for the past 20 hours? Why is the sun out? I will start with one that actually involves a person here, John, not here, but John, who's been on the show before.
Yeah.
We were playing Guild Wars 2, a good couple years ago, the year it came out. So it was several years ago. And,
That's a while ago.
Oh, yeah. They had a Halloween event, and we were doing different things. In Guild Wars 2, my favorite part of that game were the platforming challenges, the jumping puzzles, where you'll find an area and you kind of like hop along and dodge obstacles and climb this thing just to get to point wherever, and you get an achievement for it. I like platforming stuff. I think it's fun. It's like what I'm playing in VR right now is Sprint Vector in this game called To the Top, where it's just platforming, get from point A to point B in neat, creative ways. So there was a event-specific jumping puzzle. It was like a clock tower of some kind. I remember this, and it was really hard. Because unlike every other jumping puzzle, you have to do it with a certain group of people. It was either like 10 or 5 or 15, some group of people. And the clock tower was either sinking or there was this like green mist that was rising. Either way, so the jumping puzzle was slowly going away and you had to get to the top before you sank to your death. I don't think it was really, it felt like it was much faster than it probably was. But the trick to it is you had to do it with a bunch of other people stumbling all over you. And by the end of the time you got to the end, it was usually like you and like one other person. So we did this over and over and over and over again until one of us, I think it was me, finally got it right and got all the way to the top and got the chest and found these really cool little boots that were garbage because Guild Wars 2 was all about really, really bad gear that looked pretty. It still is. That's why I quit playing. It's like, that looks neat. Is it a stat boost? Nope. Horizontal progression, no point in an MMO. Anyways, so we just played this forever. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think it was John that couldn't quite make it. So we just did it over and over again. Then he finally got it, and then we kept doing it because it kept giving you some kind of reward. I think it was like freaking candy corn, something equally stupid. Like there was no reason to keep doing this. And we did it for hours. And I think we started playing in the evening, and when we quit, it was like 9 or 10 a.m. Wow. And I looked at the window and went, John, is it? And he just kind of went, yeah. And I will forever remember just climbing this tower, and I got really good at it. Where there's a Guild Wars 2 has a dodge mechanic. You play this, but you know the dodge I'm talking about. I don't know if they've patched it now, but there was a thing you could do that we would call a dodge jump, where if you dodged and jumped at the perfect time, you would get the vertical height of a jump, but the horizontal distance of the dodge. So you could go really far. So there were certain points where you would dodge jump in this level to save yourself some time. So I would specifically take longer and then dodge jump over people to freak them out and have them fall off and die. It was so much fun. It was great. And I don't know if they ever brought it back because people complained about it being too hard.
Oh, wow. Aww.
So I think they may have finally brought it back like a year or two after that, but that was the only time you could play that event was during the Halloween thing. That's it. Then it's just gone. So awesome. Sorry. Your turn, Britt.
Okay. Gosh, which one do I...
I'm so glad I had excited you so much that you were falling asleep. Thanks.
I'm so sorry. No. I was interested. I was just yawning.
That was really good. Tell me more about your...
I was going to say mine are actually quite boring comparatively. Okay, so you told the big one, so I'm going to tell a big one. Okay, so when Star Wars came out...
Oh, is this the Old Republic? Yes. Oh, no. I'm in this story. Is this the Whataburger one?
You remember this. No, that was Ion. That was when we played Ion.
Which one is this then? Oh, wait. This is... Okay. I'm in this story too, aren't I? Is this you in the desert?
And John. John's in the story as well. So when Star Wars came out, MMO...
Hang on a second. Let me preface this.
Yes.
Because if you're not going to... Are you going to tell the Ion story also?
Yes.
I like how these are all MMO stories. That's funny.
God, I know.
Okay, so let me just preface it by saying we're actually really boring vanilla individuals.
We really are.
Like we play video games. We don't really party. Like I watch robot anime and play video games. We don't really drink a lot. We don't do anything. So a lot of these stories are kind of like,
my favorite thing
really?
is like I'm like, well, if you've been watching the podcast, you know, like I'm a huge film buff. And so like, I'm the type of person, I love to watch movies. I could watch the same movie over and over and over again if I love it. I don't care. And that's all I like to do. I just love to watch movies and like
I like how you're
draw.
still looking at the camera.
Yeah,
even though the camera
as if
is
it's
no
not there,
longer
but
recording.
It's not there.
Gosh darn it. Anyways.
And so like, that's all I do with my time
Just
is
to
I
preface
just
all of that.
I just watch movies and draw. And I'm not snob that's like, please don't talk to me during this movie, even if I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I'm like, hey, Britt, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm watching a movie. What are you watching? I'm watching.
I'm watching Shut Up. That's what I'm
Yeah,
watching.
exactly.
No,
I'm watching
kidding.
Amelie for the billionth time. It's
I
like, well,
love
do you want to hang out?
It's
Like,
so
no.
good.
Okay.
That soundtrack is phenomenal
so
too.
go for it.
Just
Britt.
saying.
Go for it.
Okay, so
make some
that being
corrections here.
said, I decided that I think I was off the next day. I don't know what was going on.
we were all going to hang out and play.
But we're going to hang out and we're going to play. And I was like, cool, then I'm going to play this game that I really like. By the way, not to sound like not to sound like a hipster D-bag, but I was
oh my
a
God.
bounty hunter.
Yes.
And I called my character Stormageddon, and I got it from Doctor Who before Doctor Who was cool. Just saying here. I mean, yeah, sorry. I said it. I'm sorry. Now, and that game was like that name was not taken. Now, since I've tried to make that my name and it's taken all the time, it makes me so angry. Anyway, just saying.
Anyways.
Just saying, sorry.
Proceed. You just don't want to say what you did.
I don't. Okay, so I decided that I was, going to treat myself. So
Crack
I would
open
have
a bottle of wine.
a glass of wine, some gummy bears. Life was going to be great. And I would play this game. Yeah, because I like to put the gummy bears in there. It actually tastes really good.
Anyways, moving
sorry.
along. So you had, and this is where you're going to disagree, you had less than 2
I did not.
glasses of wine.
I did not, because I seem to recall.
I'm going to explain why your recall was kind of bad.
No,
here.
I seem to recall. I was just like, oh, cool. We're playing, sipping. Some time passes, and I'm like, oh, hey.
Mind you, at this point,
Refill
all we
me.
have is, because of course we're playing MMO, so neither one of us are there. So.
Like, refill, I was kind of like, Thor, another. But didn't realize, like this, I swear, I did not realize, because like time had passed, we were having a good time, totally lost track of time.
And you really don't drink, so you're just a big
I
baby.
do not, like not at all.
So let me explain.
It's very occasion. It's like
Super
very rare.
So let me just shift here. So from my perspective, you have a mini map like you do in most MMOs when you can see your character just little dots. So I see Britt's little dot. Me and John are over just running through the desert, just killing people, and we notice that Britt's dot's kind of away from all of us. It just kind of stopped following us, and I go, "Hey, Britt, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it." Yeah.
I feel like this is a gross over-exaggeration.
Oh, no. Like, what are you doing? I'm coming. Well, where are you? I'm over here. And I see, look, were you coming? And she's like, yeah. I see her icon just moving in circles on the map. I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, first of all, it's hard to tell where you're going in a desert because everything looks the same. You're in a desert. How can you tell which direction? I'm just saying, right? Back me up here, okay?
Needless to say, we didn't play much more
And
that night.
I also realized that I might have accidentally had the whole bottle.
You had not.
I totally did.
Oh my goodness.
I totally did. I swear.
So, in other words, you
And
kind of impaired yourself a bit.
my
much.
head started hurting, and I realized that was probably because everything was blurry. So, yeah. But that was fun.
Good times. Okay.
And I never did that again.
Yeah. And in your case, that's actually
I
true.
learned my lesson.
Most people are like, I'm never doing that again. Britt's just like, nope, I'm reading a book.
That's another thing.
Let's see. Where's another
favorite thing I love to do in my spare
good
time?
one? See, most of mine really do revolve around staying up way too late. Okay, I got one. So, I am a really big fan of Child of Eden.
Oh,
I know
Lord.
I've talked about Rez a whole lot. I think I've mentioned Child of Eden a couple of times.
I do not like Child of Eden. I am sorry.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Wow. Like, if another game needs to be made into VR, it needs to be Child of Eden.
No.
It really needs to be. Probably not for my well-being, but still, just because. And I'll get into that. So this is, I forgot where I worked, but I like rented Child of Eden from somewhere. I guess it was like a Blockbuster or something. It was a long time ago. And I rented it and I was playing with a friend of mine named Jose. And he came over to my place and we were playing Child of Eden. We played Child of Eden a lot. Like, it's not a long game. We beat the game and we played on hard mode. And then we played it again. And then we were unlocking stuff. And some of the things were really hard to unlock because you had 100% the level. We kept playing it and kept playing it. And for some reason, I was just hooked on this game. So I just sat there all night. And if everyone's ever seen me play, if everyone's just seen me in general, I'm a very active person when I talk and when I play. I'm one of those people that like kicks and thinks it makes you go faster, and it does, so you can shut up. So this was me playing a rhythm game with shooting over and over again for like 14 hours. I got really sick. Do you remember that?
I do.
Remember you had to take me to the hospital?
I remember.
That's why I say times when you almost died. Apparently, I wasn't drinking anything and got super dehydrated because I was sweating because my AC wasn't all that good in the apartment.
Yeah.
So the next day, I'm like, I don't feel so good.
Oh, you know, he just kind of almost had kidney failure.
Oh, that was great. But so
you remind me. Do you remember that article about like that Korean kid that died?
Several of them, yeah, where they play
That
StarCraft
was
for like
you.
2 days straight and die. That was
was
almost
you.
me. Yeah, video games are great, kids. Play responsibly, please. Like, I don't get what was up with that game. I just played it nonstop and forgot what time it was.
The crazy thing to me is like, I'm like, what? This game isn't even good.
So good. So good. I played it again since, and I'm like, yeah, this game's still really good.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to go have a drink of water.
You're banned. You're banned. You can't play that game.
It's just so much fun. But yeah, so yeah, that was one time where I just about died. That was good. I think other people have something. I went rock climbing. I was like, I played a video game and just fell apart. I'm a tough guy. Me, Kratos, no problem. What you got? What you got next? Is it the Ion story?
Nothing like super, super exciting. Just like, I have like little fragments of stuff. Punch Out is I have a really soft spot for Mike Tyson's Punch Out because I remember playing it. Like, I remember exactly, you know, when I was like 4 years old, what the room looked like. Sitting on the corner of the bed, the dresser that our TV was on looked super huge. Maybe it's because I was 4. And just playing Punch Out with my brother. And I was actually really good at it. I don't know what happened.
What happened? What went wrong?
I don't know, because I played Punch Out recently and it was freaking hard.
Ain't so good, man. Well, I remember.
But it's so good.
I'll tangent that. Do you remember when I think one of us picked it up for the Wii? And we were trying to play it, and we took it to your brother.
Yeah.
And he was really bad at it too.
Yeah.
And it was like, what happened? Because your brother can still beat Mike Tyson. He's the only person I've ever seen in a room beat Mike Tyson.
It's crazy.
I don't get it. I can't do it. I can do other stuff that I think that I'm pretty proud of.
I swear I did it when I was like 4.
Did not.
Yes, I did.
I swear. I wasn't here to watch, but I bet you did.
You can ask him.
I'll ask him. He's gonna be like, no.
Because you know what? I was like, yeah, you can do anything as a child because you don't have society holding you down. You're
or a job.
That too.
So you can just play games forever. See, I avoid that. I avoid that now because I just don't sleep. I'll just play. That's how you can always tell it's a good game. Like, you can always tell when I'm playing a good game because I'm dead. I'll be like, hey, Brett, how's it going? And like, you're not sleeping, are you? I said, nope. What are you playing? So you can always tell. Because how it was with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and the cat girl that was the best girl.
Oh, God.
Twice. I'll just play it all night and not go to bed. And come to work the next day and just be like, oh, God, I want to go play that more and not sleep or eat. That's a really good game. I have very bad self-control when it comes to gaming.
God. I also remember... I think I was about 8 years old, and my aunt used to live out of state. She used to live in Kentucky, and she would visit us occasionally just by herself. And I thought she's so fun. I love her to death. So I would look forward to her visits whenever she would come to visit.
I love your aunt. She's so awesome.
She's awesome.
Wait, which one?
The one you met.
I met the other one like twice, and she's okay, but the other aunt's awesome.
Yeah, she's super
gave me
fun.
crawfish that one time.
She's
great.
She's really
I
fun.
like how that's how I grade people. Yeah. Like, if you give me food, You're okay in my neck. I'm looking at the camera too. Darn it. The camera's not working anymore.
I know. It's hard not to like break the habit. Anyway, she's super fun. So I think I was like 8 years old. I fished out the NES, which was in a toy box. And I was like, I'm going to find this.
It was in a toilet somewhere.
No, it was in a toy box. And so I was like, I need to find this thing and I'm going to hook it up. So I like fished it out. I hooked it up by myself. Pretty rad. Just saying. It wasn't that hard.
Them
but
3
I was
plugs,
a kid.
man.
I was a kid. Though.
I know.
So, and then I played Super Mario 3 and Milon Secret Castle.
Of course you did.
And I actually got the booties. I'm just saying, because I played this with you the other day, and like we couldn't find the booties, and we couldn't get to the wizard.
Clues in the world. Like I thought Castlevania 2 had bad clues.
No, it's perfect. I'm just saying.
Milon Secret Castle. Go find a saw. When do you find a saw in that game?
We actually didn't find the saw.
No, there is no saw.
It's there.
No, I swear there is not.
But I felt like we had to find the boots first.
Yeah, like you needed the.
Or like
and
the
what
little...
do you find the boots for? Like what is anything in that game?
Oh, because it gives you extra jumping ability.
Do they?
Yes.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty
I've
sure
already forgotten that whole game because I hate it so much.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
The music's really pretty, but that's it.
I love the music. Oh my god! But I actually got really far in Milon Secret Castle. And I play it now, and I love it to death. Like, because it's.
I like how there's.
I will always have.
This show really should be Xenoblade's Castle Cast.
Yeah, and we always bring up the same games over and over again. You can tell we love them.
Speaking of which, let's just keep going here. They announced that the Earth Defense Force 5 was going to be coming to America this summer.
I can't wait.
No official date, but we just talked about EDF last show. It's going to be great. Watch it.
EDF. I'm so excited.
So proceed.
Anyway, I played those 2 games like well into the night, stayed up way past my bedtime. I did that a few times. I did that with Medieval as well. Anyway, trying to wait for her to arrive. I didn't make it, but I fell asleep. But yeah, it was
face first on the
it was really fun. That's another one, Medieval. Yeah, my brother was playing it, and I was watching him play it, and I really wanted to play it because I thought it was just the best game ever. I love Medieval. And he had his girlfriend over because he's 8 years older than me, so I was a kid. He had a girlfriend, and then I think one of our cousins or somebody else was there, and they were playing it. And my mom made me go to bed, and I cried so hard because I wanted to play Medieval. And when she fell asleep, I got back up and played and went in there. And he didn't tattle on me. Cool brother. Just saying.
Your brother's pretty cool. So I've got one, and it's actually, I think we're gonna make it our question for next month.
Okay.
Games that have made you rage the most. But don't answer it now, though. I'm going to use that next time. Specifically because I'm talking about Catherine now.
I love that game.
That game.
It's not that hard.
Screw you.
It's
you
not.
It was that hard.
It is
You were
not.
there. You remember. Okay, so
yeah.
we set the stage for you. So
and
Catherine,
I feel like there was one. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I feel like there was like a puzzle where you're like, I can't do this. And I'm like, give it to me. And I got through it. I'm just saying.
So Catherine came out, and I don't like puzzle games very much. I just don't. Maybe I'm just
They're so
dumb.
fun.
Whatever.
You are not.
But Catherine came out, and it was set in the same universe as Persona. So I was like, I gotta get it. So I got it, and it's just this weird block pulling game about like
weird stuff,
being in a relationship and having kids and being a sheep. It's just weird. I mean, is any of that incorrect? I mean, really, that's kind of Catherine.
That just sounded so funny. Yes, you were a sheep, but like, you weren't a sheep. I mean, the sheep was an allegory, okay?
Aren't we all just really sheep at the end of the day, bro?
Oh, God.
Well,
and you had horns. There were sheep, but you were not.
You were a sheep also.
You were not a
sheep.
sheep.
You were. I'm not arguing about the sheep. You were a sheep.
Were you a sheep?
Yes.
I don't remember.
You were supposed to be a sheep.
I remember there was like sheep around you, and I remember you had horns, and you were like, oh my God, I have horns.
You're supposed to be a
sheep. And you
were
like a guy in boxers with sheep horn, like ram horns.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Whatever. Move along. So that game pissed me off. And one night, I think, was I over at your place or you were at my place? That we were hanging out one night. And I had decided I was going to finish this stupid game and be done with it. And I was not going to go to bed until I finished this game. And it was like one of the last levels where you're fighting like an evil demonic Catherine. Where I say fighting, you're climbing blocks.
Yeah.
And there's an evil Catherine pulling blocks away from you. And I couldn't do it. And I was so mad. I'd probably thrown the controller and it was just like ripping my hair out, crying and like offering my soul to whoever wanted it just to help me beat this game. And I couldn't do it. And I was just finally beat it. And like it was one of those cases where did this sunlight come from? Like, I thought I beat the game, and I really thought, like, that was the end, and I was dead. And it was, like, heaven waiting for me outside. Like, oh, it's just the sunlight. Okay, cool. And then I had to go to work the next day, and I was just so bad. I'm sorry, Rosa. That was just really bad, because I had no sleep. I came in, I was like, don't buy that game. Buy anything else. Someone do something. And I was just
that game is so good. I love that game. Can we please have Game Over Cast shirts now? And then it can say like Game Over Cast on the front, and then on the back it'll say the sheep is allegorical.
The sheep is damn it.
There's an allegory in the sheep.
That's right. Yes.
That sounds like a bad
But
name.
you need to tell the Ion story. I think you really do. Like here, we'll do this together. So once again, back to an MMO. We do play lots of MMOs. What happened to good MMOs?
We
They're all
sound
gone.
like such ragamuffins, I swear.
Well, it's like as opposed to like going clubbing, you play video games. That's why this story is so funny though, because
It's
once again,
so funny.
like we're like both like we're like once again very vanilla.
Yes.
So I remember we were playing Ion one night. And I think we were both really hungry, so I was like, "Okay, I'll come get you." And we'll go get food.
And it was like 4 a.m.
It was like 4 a.m. So I went over to come pick you up, and we went to go get food at like Whataburger, right?
Yeah, it was like between 3 and 4 a.m.
Yep, it was late. Go for it. So I'll set the stage. So we're in the car, and this is like, okay. So I don't know. Okay, so if you live in Houston, okay, we're in LaPorte at this point, which is this tiny little like happy hick town. That sounds really bad. I love LaPorte, but you know what I mean. It's like it's like a smallish town. This is before they developed the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to think of an example for those people that don't live in Houston or know what LaPorte is. It's just a tiny little city.
It's a small town.
Little suburb. Lots of horses. Well, because it's a bunch of fields and like it's right by the plants. But so it's just like a tiny little place. So any bitty little place, quiet. Whatever. You have to drive like 15 minutes to get to Walmart, which is absurd in most cases. You know what I mean? We're like, there's a Walmart like every 6 inches
it was like
usually.
It's like 10 minutes away. Yeah, I guess. Maybe.
So far. It's
not
so
that far.
But anyway, so.
But you have to, okay, let's put it this way. You have to drive half an hour it's like 30 to 35 minutes to drive to the nearest Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
So that's like a better.
That's even worse, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
like
this
a
is
better.
a hipster-free zone.
Hey! Mean.
That's true. You live there. But so that's the scene. So they roll the sidewalks up at night here. And we're going to go to Whataburger at like 3:30 a.m.
But the streets were super empty. Like it was only us.
Because it was 4 a.m. I mean, of course it's empty. I mean, the streets are empty in like big cities usually at that time of night on like a weekday. It was like a Tuesday or something. So anyway, so there's the scene, Britt. Take it away.
I had my Volkswagen Beetle, which was my first car, and I love it.
We were taking your car, yeah.
I don't know, maybe that car's suspicious looking. I have no
idea. It's a Volkswagen, but it's like a
Volkswagen
new,
Beetle.
Though. It was like a 2006 or whatever.
It was a 2002.
2002, whatever. I don't know, but it was also like 2004 when we did this, though.
Yeah, it was.
But anyways, God,
I know, God. Anyway, so we're driving. It's like super dark. Absolutely nothing
at all.
We're actually going the speed limit. And though we could run stop signs because nobody was there, we were not running stop signs.
Not at all.
Anyway, it's a good thing we didn't.
You can see where this is going.
Because here comes a cop out of the bushes.
Pulls up next to us kind of thing.
And he's like, well, he like follows us for like a mile as we're on our way to Whataburger. And we're like, man,
we're not even thinking about it because like we're not doing anything. We're
not doing anything, so we don't really care. And so we're like, whatever. We're going the speed limit. We're doing everything. What it is. Like, anyway, he's probably just patrolling stuff.
This is only very slightly a video game story. I'm just realizing now.
Yeah, kind of, because we were playing Ion.
That's
anyway.
Right.
So, man, all I'm saying is that when you MMO, for a ton of hours,
a lot of you guys get this.
You need a snack.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
it's
know
time
what
to
it's
go
like.
get food.
And we didn't have our Code Red, Mountain Dew, and Doritos or whatever.
we were Dorito deprived. So
anyway.
Long story short, the guy pulls us over.
Yes. And we're like, oh man, okay. Because, okay, it ended up being, he pulled up next to me. And I was at a red light turning right. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, well, I can't see.
So we stopped.
So we stopped but
he pulled like way forward.
He pulled up forward and I couldn't see. So I pulled up forward and didn't see that anybody was coming. So I turned. And then he pulled me over for pulling up too far. And I'm like, but I couldn't see. But I'm not argumentative. I'm just saying.
We're just like, okay, sure, whatever.
And I respect the law.
And he was like, what are you guys doing out here tonight? And you're like, we were playing video games. And we want to go get food. And he didn't believe us.
Really? Truly? I'm like, what? I don't know if we were like, well, we were in pajamas. I don't know if we were like suspicious looking. But all I'm saying is like, I'm gaming until like 4 a.m. Of course I'm going to wear pajamas.
I survived.
And it's Whataburger.
I survived like the entire trip to your
out.
house. Like, because I think I lived in South Houston at the time.
Yeah.
I survived the whole trip down there. Let me get in your car and go get food. And I'm just telling him, like, yeah, I was playing a video game where you play these things with angel wings and you hit stuff. And
it was like the funniest thing ever, though.
And he made us get out of the car.
Yes. So he was like, okay, we'll step out of the vehicle. So we got out of the car. We're just sitting there. I think we were there for like an hour.
Because they brought in a K9 unit,
yeah, because they brought in a puppy, which was
awesome. They brought in
awesome.
a puppy unit, and it was so cute.
But
it scratched your car.
Wasn't awesome at the same time because he was like, putting him around my car. And it's really funny. He told him to get inside my car, which the dog did get inside my car. Luckily, I love dogs and I didn't freak out. But yeah, he got inside my car. Then he did like a little circle,
and he hopped
like
out
a little
again.
loopy loop. And then he hopped out and he was like, no, are you sure? Go back here. Go back in, boy. And I'm like, he didn't find anything. Like, he is well trained.
And they separate. And I'm talking to one of the cops like, dude, we're playing an MMO. I'm just hungry. Like, I don't do anything. And he was like, the one guy was trying to interrogate us. And obviously, please, by all means, due diligence. That's fine. Yeah. I'm not upset at the police for doing it.
No, neither am I.
At all.
We thought it was
hilarious because we're like,
yeah.
I'm like, I'm the biggest loser in the world.
I mean, we're super nerdy looking. I'm just saying.
Like, I'm wearing like a Transformers shirt or something here. I'm like, I just wanted to go to Whataburger and then go back and play my video game.
But the super funny thing, though, is like, we had told him, like, yeah, we were playing a video game. Like, we got really hungry, so we left. And then I realized when he asked for my license and registration that I had left my purse at home. And I was like, well, gosh darn it.
Like, how are you guys going to go to Whataburger with no wallet?
And I was like, well, obviously I would have had to go home and that would have sucked. But
so you could pull us over again.
But he actually let us off with a warning. He was really cool. And I think it was because we were so cool about it because we just thought it was really funny.
And I just wasn't shutting up about video games. I was just talking about, it's like, yeah, we do this. And we're gonna, you should play. Do you want to be in our clan?
Yeah. And do you remember the guy, not the one that was like interrogating us, but it was really comical because there was two guys and they were literally playing good cop, bad cop. Exactly. So we had the one that was like interrogating us, like didn't believe us that we were like playing Ion for like until 3 a.m. and wanted just wanted Whataburger. And then the other guy was just talking to us about random stuff like music and video games and all kinds of stuff. And I think ultimately that's why they were like, okay, yeah, these
guys are just legit nerds.
They're just nerdy.
Let them go. They're boring.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of officers that are in my family. My uncle was a detective, so this is by no means any thing
no point
against
are we saying,
them.
Like, these darn police officers.
Yeah, we actually
doing
thought
their
it
job
was
protecting people.
Exactly. We actually just thought it was really funny, and it was fun because it was like quite the story that we have to tell, which we're telling now. So.
I have one more, I think, and it's not necessarily a video game specifically. It actually has to do with my job. So I travel a lot of places because I'm obviously district manager. So I've flown a couple times to different cities to take supplies to people. So I'll have a suitcase full of stuff like PS2s and like just different components, so cables and controllers and just random stuff, right? And every time I go to the airport, and I'm like, oh boy, here we go, because almost every time I get searched.
Do you check your bag though?
When I do, it always gets searched. But when I can fit in a carry-on, I'll do that just to make it easier. So I'll have this massively heavy carry-on bag full of just Dreamcasts and stuff and everything. And then if I have to bring back defectives, I have just a bunch of like cables and other just random junk. And every time I get stopped, I'm just like, howdy, I was waiting for you kind of thing. And he's like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah, I do this a lot. And every time I always feel like my plan is to bore them to death. Where they'll be talking like, what's this? And I'll just go off on a spiel. I'm like, yeah, this is Dreamcast and play this and does that and everything, blah, 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 blah. You should have my card and all this stuff. And they're like, just go. Just freaking go. Take your bag and get out of here.
Yeah, I'd shove your bag in your face.
I've done this before because even less video game related, but I was coming back from California one time and I'd actually bought a bunch of Transformers while I was over there, like big ones. Like I brought like Unicron, who's like a 2-foot tall figure. You know the one I'm talking about. The planet with the big spiky wings. It's really freaking big. I had him and I had a bunch of other Transformers in the bag. And they're these big Transformers where obviously they're like soft plastic, but they look really imposing with like spikes and angry things. So they're searching the bag, and he picks up Unicron, who's in planet form, who's this big spiky ball. He looks at me like, "What's this, boy?" And that's not really what it sounded like, but you know what I mean. And I'm like, "Oh, that's Unicron. He's the Lord of Destruction." You see what it was back in 1988 Autobots, the Transformers movie. And I just go, and I can see his face just drooping, and just puts it back. And I was like, "Get out of here! just go!" Like you're obviously you're a nerd. Scram. So that's actually always my get out of jail free card. Like I don't often have to worry about it unless I'm at the airport, but I always just bore people to death with nerd talk. It's like we can talk about Warhammer or a Gundam or whatever you want, baby, a Stargate. Let's do this. And oftentimes they just want to see me go. They just want to see me gone.
Stargate, I love Stargate.
Yeah.
Sorry. You know that little symbol, the little symbol for Earth?
Yeah.
I want that as a tattoo.
Did you know?
Because that'd be cool, right?
Fun little fact, actually. Going to tie it back into video games. Did you know that you've seen SG-1 a couple episodes at least?
Mm-hmm.
The one guy who's the alien, the big strong guy with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
That's Kratos.
What?
That's the voice of Kratos.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I'm like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought you'd find that interesting.
That's really cool.
But yeah, I think unless you had anything else super cool, I guess we're about done.
Yeah,
we could go on forever here because there's more, but excuse me, but like I could talk about the one time Junior almost flipped a table when we were playing Smash Brothers. That was fun.
Or, gosh, do you remember when we used to play Smash every Friday night?
Yep.
It would be a group of us. We would get together. We would go over to your apartment and we would play Smash every Friday night.
Anymore.
It was so fun. And also, I remember during a Christmas break, I spent the entire Christmas break, which was like 2.5 weeks, playing Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And that was that's all I did. Like I woke up and I stayed in like my freaking PJs all day and ate snacks and just played Ocarina of Time.
Do you remember when I finally got you to play Final Fantasy X and I was over at your place and we were playing Final Fantasy X and you were sick?
Yes.
Do you remember this?
Oh my God, how did I not tell this story? Oh my God, I'm so glad you remember this. Okay, so Matt was like, hey, Final Fantasy X, and I had never played Final Fantasy X. Gosh, this was so long ago.
Oh, yeah.
Final Fantasy X is now my favorite Final Fantasy. But
so I'd come over to your place every couple of days and we just play it for a couple hours.
Yeah, and I was playing Final Fantasy X. Anyway, I was almost done with the game and had gotten through, was a trooper.
Yeah.
I was almost done with it. I was at the very last
You were on the last boss fight fighting you, Yevon, and you just felt like crap, so you wanted me to play.
No, I had food poisoning.
That's right.
I had acquired food poisoning because when this happened, it was Ike.
Was it Ike?
Was it Hurricane Ike?
I think it was, yeah, or at least right after it, yeah.
It was like right after.
Because I'd gotten really bad food poisoning. I remember. Because you remember that was really sick, and then after that, you got really sick, like right after that. That's right. Because I
got it first, and then you got it.
I don't remember. It may not have been Ike for you then, because I got sick right after I got home from evacuating from Ike. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna eat something, and then the next day I got really sick.
We got sick back to back.
Oh yeah,
remember?
Okay. Yeah.
And mine, it was so stupid. So you know how everything had basically been shut down for a while, and they said to boil your water before you had any, or to not drink. Like I didn't drink tap water, but I brushed my teeth with it.
That's right.
And then also I may have made a cup of ramen, but
Yeah, you paid for that.
For lack of, I didn't have any other water. No. Anyway, and I was like, it's totally cool because it's just the noodles, right, that I'm eating. Yeah.
Whoops.
Anyway, yeah. I'm pretty sure, like, I still don't know what caused the food poisoning, but I'm pretty sure it was those two things.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
So I just remember you being too sick to play, but you wanted to see it, so I was playing for you.
I was in so much pain, and I could not, like, I spent the entire night and day, like, I spent like 2 whole days, like, in the bathroom. I was in so much pain, and, vomiting into, TMI, but just vomiting. And constantly, it was like back to back to back to back.
People, if you've had food poisoning, you understand.
You know how miserable it is, and you feel like you want to die. Anyway, so I would run from. I was like, "You got to play this for me because I want to finish it," and I was hoping that it would take my mind off of being sick, but of course it didn't.
Because the ending's so emotional.
It is.
And I just remember the end. I just remember the last cut scene. Where like Una tries to hug Titus and she falls. And I'm like, Brandy, look at this. And I was like, wait, you're missing it.
And was I crying because I was sick or was I crying because it was sad?
It's amazing that you actually like that game because it's just always just like associate with being ill.
I don't. I guess it was that good of a story. The music is like freaking amazing too. But yeah, I was just like, you have to finish this for me. So I was running from the bathroom whenever I felt ill to running to the living room to watch him play for me because I couldn't play. And then, he would give me the controller and then I'd hand it back and then I'd run to the bathroom. So it was back and forth, back and forth.
It's one of the strangest things I've ever done.
Until we finished the game. It was
are you okay?
Pretty
Keep
hilarious.
Playing. I'm like, okay.
It was pretty hilarious. Oh my God, yeah.
I'm glad I brought that up.
Me too, because I'd totally forgotten about that. And it was miserable. But it was.
I'll tell you what, it was weird, but I had a blast. But
I bet you did.
I'm just watching you come and go and come and go.
Man.
Like, man, do you want to pause? You want to do this later? No. I'm like, okay. That's sick Britney voice, by the way. That's not when you get sick.
We also watched Dawn of the Dead. And I had like a pot, remember? Like right there.
Oh, God. Oh, ew. That's right. How did I allow that? That was disgusting.
Know. In case, because that was when I started to feel
like
better.
Like you're just in case and you couldn't make it thing?
That's like when I started to feel better. So I like had nothing to eat for like days.
See,
I was living off of like Gatorade.
I'd probably just leave you there now. Like, screw you,
yeah,
bro.
I know.
I'm out.
And I could barely even hold the Gatorade in, but that's when I started to feel better.
Sucks.
Oh my God, it was awful. It was like a severe case.
Yeah,
I had a severe case. It was terrible.
But anyways, anything else?
No, that's it.
That's a pretty good cap to it right there.
Yeah.
Obviously 10 and puking. But, so yeah. End of the day, we want you to share your equally interesting stories with us.
I would love to read them do like a little like mini episode and read them. That would be so cool.
So yeah, please email us podcast@gameovervideogames.com, comment on the YouTube. Whatever you want to do to get it to us. I would love to possibly not be the only moron here. Help me feel less dumb by sharing some of your stories.
After sharing these stories, I kind of feel like a hooligan, and it's like not an accurate representation of our life.
Because it's like, hey, I play video games and get sick. I mean, like, I have friends that do much worse things on the weekends. What do? I play God of War and then don't sleep. So I feel actually quite. I just feel like a loser more than anything else. But it's like, what are your best stories? Times I almost died because I was playing video games. Wow.
Hey, they're remastering Catherine. I'm so happy.
Don't talk to me.
I can't wait.
I don't care.
I'm
not playing it. All right, we are going to get out of here.
Yes.
But once again, the email is podcast@gameovervideogames.com. That's
podcast@gameovervideogames.com.
Thank you very much. And once again, apologies for the video cutout.
Yes.
I'm going to set my camera on fire and give it a nice Kratos Viking funeral. Thank you for watching / listening. We will see you next time.
Thanks for listening. I'm me.
Thanks, me. I'm leaving.
I'm tired.
You know what? Hey, what time is it? Let's go to Whataburger. We'll see you next time on Game Overcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.